Okay, fallacy number one is that turns about a point and rectangular course are not the same thing. They are the same thing. That's kind of the beauty of them. That's why you learn them together, because you are actually correlating skills from one into the other. Now, with rectangular course, if we had no wind, we wouldn't have to fly any wind correctors to make the straight line legs. We would just turn 90 degrees, turn 90 degrees, turn 90 degrees, turn 90 degrees, and you would do it perfectly and be wonderful and excellent. But unfortunately, Mother Nature never gives us zero wind conditions. So we set this up ideally with ourselves on the downwind, so we get a tailwind. So let's put some wind in here. Okay, well, here's the wind. Now when I'm on the downwind, and it's blowing straight up the downwind, do I have to make any wind corrections? No, I don't. So my airplane, my heading is just right over top of the line that I want. But when I turn base, downwind to base, left-hand turn, if I put the airplane on, if I don't correct for the wind, where's my airplane go? Well, that's not a perpendicular line to the downwind. That's not a straight leg. We have screwed up somehow. So now we need to apply more heading in order to crab for the wind. Now, crabbing is not something you do. It's not you and the airplane going, I'm a crab, I'm a crab. No, no. This is you taking the airplane and just changing a little more heading to get that nice perpendicular ground track that you're looking for. And then you get over to wherever your next reference line is, you flew a half mile, whatever, and then you start your turn. Well, here we are on the upwind, same wind condition. Do we have a wind corrector? No, we don't have one there. So we come down to the crosswind. Well, hey, what do we have here? We got a wind to compensate for, right? So now we turn the airplane and we fly a crab, okay? We fly a crab in order to compensate for the wind to get a nice straight ground track. You are coordinated. The ball is centered. You're not slipping. You're not skidding. None of that. But you are putting the airplane over top of the ground where you want it to go. In between these legs, you have to turn the aircraft. So how do we start out this turn from the downwind to the base? Well, we start out with a nice steep bank angle because we've got our fastest ground speed. Well, because we're at a steeper bank angle, we've got a higher rate of turn, so we're going to actually change more heading. Well, that's where this comes in. So we've actually managed to change more than 90 degrees of heading. We're going from this airplane to this airplane, not this airplane to this airplane. No, that won't work at all. But having a steeper bank angle means that you can change more heading. When you come over to the upwind leg from the base leg, you don't have to turn as much here either. This is not a 90-degree turn. This is less than a 90-degree turn. So we can be medium bank to shallow bank. As we come down to here, well, this is not 90 degrees of turn either. This is less than 90 degrees of turn. So we start shallow, but we are going to have to go back to the same bank angle that we had right here. Shallow to medium bank. Then once you've established your wind correction angle, you roll out wings level and you're done. But now you have to go from this heading to this heading. Well, that's more than 90 degrees of turn, so you want to go medium to steep bank. Whoop, there's a T in there, I swear. Okay, so medium to steep, steep to medium, medium to shallow, shallow to medium, medium to steep. So I said earlier that this maneuver is directly related to the turns about a point, and that they are the exact same thing. So let me prove that now. So here we can see turns about a point. We've now just cut out the turn portion of rectangular course. And we took those steep to medium, medium to shallow, shallow to medium, medium to steep bank angles that we did at the four corners of our rectangular course, and then we just took out the straight legs. We just squeezed them down together. So it's the same maneuver, just without the straight portions, with you constantly correcting the bank angle to keep the wing pointed at something that you may have seen referred to as the secondary point. And that is kind of an imaginary point that's located on the downwind side of your desired point where you're doing your turns about a point. And if we think about our bank angle, it's nice and steep here. So the wing is pointed more down and it's pointed at the secondary point. Well, here we've got a wing correction angle and the wing is pointed over here. It's pointed towards the downwind. Here on the shallow side, on the upwind side, we don't have as much bank angle. So that wing that was pointed down here, it gets pointed over to the secondary point. And then on our crosswind leg, we have a wind corrector into the wind, and we can see that our wing is pointed over at that secondary point. Now, it's just an imaginary point. It's not like you're sitting there going, I'm going to do turns around a point over that barn, and the secondary point will be that cow. I mean, you could do that, but the cow might move. It's not going to help you. Unless he moves and the wind gets stronger and he goes with it. Never mind. So this is how turns about a point and rectangular course are the exact same thing, with these 90-degree points just being snapshots of the straight leg of a rectangular course. So crabbing is what happens when you apply a heading correction for where the wind is coming from. The ball is still centered, you're still coordinated, you're not slipping the aircraft. It's a way to fly a ground track that you want with varying heading. And in turns about a point, we're constantly varying our heading. So you got to change bank angle to change that heading in order to fly a constant radius to compensate for this wind. So if you're pointed this way and going that way, you must be compensating for a wind that's going this way. And that is crabbing.